I like to hear. Dave Helman, welcome.
Hi. Hey, guys.
NFL Insider, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you.
We're going to keep it as animated as we did for the last
as always.
Right?
As
I'm
always.
trying to get into it. Let's go.
Dave, I'm going to throw this fireball at you.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson, he now has Odell Beckham. He has Zay Flowers. He has Rashad Bateman. He has Nelson Aguilar. Funny, I was thinking this. It really dawned on me driving into work. He has 4 former first-round picks at wide receiver. I don't know if any other team has that. For whatever it's worth, it's just an interesting nugget for y'all to think about at home. Success for Lamar, though, to me, looks like an AFC championship game. Nothing less. It looks like that not because the AFC is weak, but it looks like that because Lamar Jackson is incredible. It looks like that because Lamar Jackson has finally been given what he wanted: money, help at the wide receiver position, and a new offensive coordinator. It looks like that because the time is now. Peyton Manning, it took a long time for him to get to his first AFC championship game. 6 years, in fact. A long time. Lamar Jackson's in year 6, in fact. So success to me for Lamar Jackson, obviously it's staying healthy. That's a given. But it looks like an AFC championship game. Shady, what's success for Lamar Jackson to you this season?
You said AFC championship game?
AFC championship game, sir.
I'm going to start with my biggest one, I think, is winning his division. Right? He hasn't done that.
I like that answer.
They haven't done that in 3 years. And I think that we can look at all these top quarterbacks in the AFC because it's got loaded. It's loaded up, right? Even you add A-Rod in there and with them weapons in New York. So I got to go winning the division because of all the players there. It's like, it's hard to get to the AFC championship. Let's get that straight.
True.
And it's only one quarterback that we really can name. So, okay, he's either going to go to the AFC championship game or he's going to Super Bowl.
Very true.
And that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
All them other guys we want to talk about, they got a chance to get there. They have a chance to compete, be contenders. But they're in the same boat as Lamar, right? So I'm going to go to that extent, just saying win his division, and then anything from there is possible.
Shady, for clarity, let's remind the viewer who's in the division, because if you were at home without the context, they might be a little confused.
Loaded.
So I'm going to go with A-Rod. He just got there.
No, talk about who's in the division of Lamar Jackson.
Oh, you got the Browns.
Browns with Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. You have
Bengals with Joe Burrow.
Bengals with Joe Burrow.
Hell of a player. And then
Steelers.
Kenny Pickett.
Your pick guy, Kenny Pickett.
So when you say win the division, just so the viewer knows, that's a tall task. It's not like Shady's just saying, oh, win 9 games, win the division. Winning the division's an incredibly tall task. Dave, what success looked like for Lamar Jackson?
I came out here to argue with Shady, and then he stole my point. Like, winning the division would be a huge win for the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm not saying you have to draw the line there, but it's not a stretch to say the Ravens have started to feel like an afterthought in the AFC when you really think about it. Joe Burrow broke on the scene. He's owned that division for the last 2 years. The Browns obviously guaranteed every dollar of that contract for Deshaun Watson. We've seen, regardless of how you feel about the playoffs, we see the hype around a guy like Justin Herbert. You know what Josh Allen has become since Lamar Jackson won his MVP. All of this has happened since 2019. The Ravens, a large part of that is because Lamar hasn't been healthy, but they have felt like an afterthought. Last year, without him finishing the season, it was like, okay, you're going to play in this playoff game and you're going to lose, and then we'll figure out what happens after that. And that's what happened. They gave the Bengals a better game than I thought they would, but that is what happened. Now it is, can you win the division for the first time since 2019? Can you win double-digit games? They didn't do that last year. And can you win a game in the playoffs? I'm learning this about you. I grade on a curve, and you do not. I can't say you've got to be in the AFC title game when you're sharing a conference with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's an insane lineup. Say what we want about Aaron Rodgers not getting to Super Bowls. He damn sure knows how to get to a championship game. He's done that a lot. So that is some stiff competition. I can't say he's got to be there. Start with winning the division. Definitely win a playoff game. If you're playing on divisional weekend, I think you had a successful season. That's where I start.
I agree with you, Dave. I agree with you.
This is nice to see.
You see harmony. I like it.
I don't care how you make the playoffs, really. To me, it's winning a playoff game. He hasn't won that much in the postseason. He wins a lot during the regular season, and for various reasons, we know it's not as simple as winning or losing. There's a lot of nuance to how Lamar's career has gone, particularly with him not being healthy at the end of seasons. But I think if you win a playoff game, I'm not grading on a curve. I think the standard for all of these teams with elite quarterbacks or good quarterbacks should be to get to the Super Bowl. Like, that should be standard. Obviously, winning the Super Bowl is the goal, But if you get to a Super Bowl, that to me is a successful season as well. Now, that really means that only 2 teams had successful seasons.
Had this
but I think that obviously the situation the teams are in should matter also.
Yeah.
Like making it to an AFC Championship game if you're Justin Herbert and the Chargers is a big deal.
Yeah.
But Lamar's hasn't had that much postseason success. So I think winning a playoff game is what they should what he should expect, what the Ravens should expect, and really what we should expect, because aside from Lamar being there, aside from the additions that they've made on offense, and we talked a lot about this last year, but I pushed back on it because I think you need more. But now they have it. Their defense is really good.
It is.
And if you have a defense like the Ravens do with an elite quarterback or a great quarterback in Lamar Jackson, that's what the expectation should be.
Shady, you challenge me on something consistently, and so I go home after I leave the show because I take my work home with me. I know you're not supposed to do it.
Come on.
I take my homework
With
with
your
me,
boy.
and I think about, like, am I tripping? Am I too hard on Lamar? Am I? And I keep going back to I'm not. See, Dave, if success is winning a playoff game, then y'all have to help me figure this out. Because if someone were to ask you, hey, Acho, what's success for Daniel Jones? I would say winning a playoff game. He won one last year. I'd say winning a playoff game. If someone were to say, hey, Acho, what's success for Kirk Cousins? I would say winning a playoff game, right? We've seen Kirk win a playoff game before, winning a playoff game. Acho, what's success for Justin Herbert? Winning a playoff game. What's success for Trevor Lawrence? Winning a playoff game. If anybody were to ask me what success is for Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, winning a playoff game. But to me, I just view Lamar Jackson as greater than. I view the Baltimore Ravens as greater than. So I can't say that success for Daniel Jones and success for Lamar Jackson have the same barometer. If someone were to say what's success for the Giants and Daniel Jones playoff game, Lamar Jackson, AFC Championship. So Dave, please help me out here, because I don't think I'm too hard on Lamar Jackson, but I'm just curious, like, how can success for Lamar and success for Kirk or Daniel or Dak or Carr, I know I'm putting some words in your mouth, or Stafford or any of the others, how can that be the same thing?
Because the NFL's really, really hard, I think would be my answer. And for that matter, I would go, I mean, Daniel Jones has already exceeded expectations, honestly. Like, having already won a playoff game, I don't even know if, like, I wouldn't even worry about that for the New York Giants. Like, the New York Giants at this point in where they are as a team are playing with house money, in my
Then
opinion.
let me ask you this. I'm glad you brought that up, and this is a question truly for the table. Have we lowered expectations? Joy, you've been on TV longer than I have. You remember in 2019 when Lamar Jackson was unanimous MVP. Shady, you're busy winning Super Bowls, a couple of them. You remember when Lamar Jackson was unanimous MVP, the expectation wouldn't have just been like win a playoff game. The expectation would have been get to a Super Bowl. You know, whether you win it or not. You make a great point. Daniel Jones, he's exceeded expectations. Has he? Wasn't he a top 10 pick? Has he? Wasn't he a top 6 pick? Has he? But we lowered expectations, so now we're like, oh, he jumped over the bar that we lowered. Let me ask you that for Lamar Jackson. It's like, have we done a similar thing? It's just hearing you makes me think, have we lowered the expectations of Lamar, so now winning a playoff game is now a success?
No, I think I've watched Lamar and the Ravens for his entire career, and I think the Ravens get too much credit for the success that Lamar has had. I think a lot of it has been Lamar doing everything. I think the Ravens have tried. They've tried to get him help. They've tried to support him, and they've been successful in certain spaces. But I do think that we give the Ravens, like, way too much credit as an organization for the success that Lamar has brought to them. Now, you may push back on that. I respect what the Ravens do. I think they're mostly a well-run organization. But I also watch Lamar win a lot of games. I watch Lamar do things no one else can do. So he's had to carry them a lot. They have some weapons now, so maybe we should raise the expectations again. But that's how I feel about Lamar. Personally, I would like for the expectations to be higher. I would like to come in and say they should make it to the Super Bowl, and Burrow should make it to the Super Bowl, and Mahomes should make it to the Super Bowl, and Allen should make it to the Super Bowl. But I'm told that that's too high. I'm told that I can't put those expectations on people like Aaron Rodgers. So since we are collectively lowering the expectations for everyone, I don't think it's just Lamar. It's going to be, and also
Me and Shady are together on this.
That was for me, so I'm gonna answer. That was for me, so I'm gonna answer.
I also say this, Shady. I don't think you can compare the NFC and the AFC. Like the road to the NFC Championship game is easier than it is in the AFC.
Shady brought his pen out.
No, because that was for me to answer. I get where she's going with this, and I'm right. It is hard to win championships, right? As much as y'all want to put that as the standard, which that's the goal of every team in the NFL, but that's not true, right? If we talked about all the top quarterbacks in the AFC, it'll be Mahomes, it'll be Burrow, it'll be Josh Allen, it'll be Herbert, it'll be Lamar, it'll be Rodgers, it'll be Trevor Lawrence. Out of all them players we just named, right? It's what, 2 of them that won championships?
Yeah.
Come on. if we look at all the quarterbacks in the last, I don't know, 10 years, it's not a lot of them that win championships. So as much as y'all want to put that in, it's like, oh, this is the standard, you have to get this done to be successful. That's not how the NFL works. It's hard to do.
But Shady, isn't it how life works in the sense that, like, it's hard to be a rushing leader? It is very, very, very hard.
And I got one of them, and I was a bad mother.
Again, you got one. It's hard to be a touchdown leader.
How many you think AJ
And you got one of them.
Somebody like Adrian Peterson was super nice. Adrian Peterson is the best running back I've ever seen.
I'd say
He's been in the league for what, 14 years?
At least 12.
How many of them you think he got?
I'm going to guess 3. I have no idea.
You see what I'm saying?
3.
Yeah.
So as much as y'all want to say this, because I guess it sounds cool, it's hard to win championships.
But should we? Here's my question, and I love this.
Unless it's like a guy like, and I think every generation has that type of quarterback, right? Where we talk about Tom Brady. Yeah. It's not gonna be another Tom Brady. Hopefully, it might be Pat Mahomes, but even Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
We talked about him in the break. So he was a great quarterback, right? He's been to 4
Super Bowls,
4 Super Bowl appearances,
500 record,
and he's only won
2 of them.
We think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
How many years he played? I know you know.
20.
Come on.
I mean, Aaron's only been 2 and 1.
Aaron Rodgers, another one. We think he's a great talent.
One of the greatest.
18 years playing, 1 Super Bowl appearance. He's been a couple,
6 conference.
He's 11 and 10 in the playoffs. That's what I was going to say. If we can go through all these great quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, and you can throw Joe Burrow in there as well.
Throw him in there.
Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow are the only guys in this group that are significantly better than 500 in the playoffs. I mean, Josh Allen's 4 and 4. Aaron Rodgers is 11 and 10. Lamar's below 500. Like this idea.
And y'all love numbers. That's a number.
This idea that you're right. Look at you using stats over there.
I don't use numbers. I don't.
But the idea that there's all these quarterbacks that are just stacking playoff wins, it's quite simply not true.
It's not. It isn't true, and it's hard. But I think where I'm. Well, I'm not going to speak for you, but I do think that the expectations should be higher. Like, if you're going to be spoken about with the guys that are consistently going to championships and winning championships, then you should be winning more in the playoffs. Yeah. Or there is a significant difference, like a real difference between Patrick Mahomes and then a Joe Burrow.
Everything that we've learned so far is that there is.
It's only Pat.
Well, we don't talk about
that. But also, though, think about this. Okay. It's not just that. It's unanimous MVP. Once you've shown us that you are not just the best player in football, but you are unanimously the best player in football. Never been done before. Maybe Tom Brady was the only other one to do it. Like, that's when, Shady, I'm like, just get yours. Like you said, it's hard to do. Hard to be a rushing leader. I can't imagine. Although we helped you do it against the Dallas Cowboys, had to hold DeMarco Murray under. But
good luck, my boy. Good luck, my boy.
Got you. But I just want him to get his. Because if he doesn't get his, then Dave, what we can't allow as sports analysts, as sports fans, is, yeah, man, but he played in the era of Mahomes, so we don't do that.
We do that. We actually do that. We do that for a lot of greats. A lot of greats who played during Jordan's era. We go, look, he was great. He played during Jordan's era. They get their
flack, though. Charles Barkley, we don't say, like, but he played in Jordan's. Like, he gets the slack. And the chance Elijah had the opportunity to win his, he was like, oh, let me get 2 before Jordan get back here. Like, your guy Ben Roethlisberger, he snuck his in. Drew Brees, he snuck his.
Sneak his in, he won 2.
I know, but I'm hyperbole.
One of them,
like, I'm saying he got his. I'm supporting you. Like, I'm with you. Like, he got him. Drew Brees, he got him. Peyton Manning, he got him.
I do think you can break through. It's hard to win Super Bowls. I hear you. Like, it's really, really hard. It's really hard to do. It's hard to get there. I get all that. But I'm kind of with you that, like, if you're great in the sense that we speak about you that way, then you should be close to that. And they haven't gone to an AFC Championship game yet.
Like first of all, the kid is 26 years old. Am I right?
He got time.
He got a lot of time. He got a lot of time. And then, so let's say these other, like Joe Burrow, doesn't win a championship, right? Will he still be considered a great quarterback if he just continues to do the things he's doing now?
He better do it for a long time.
He better do it for a long time.
You said there's quarterbacks that haven't won that we say are great.
But truly, it's Dan.
It's really just
Dan was great.
Among guys that never won one, it's really just
Dan. I mean, outside of Dan, it's like everybody else was like, yeah, Matt Ryan had a good year. Yeah, Phillip Rivers was pretty good, but it's Dan, bro.
Phillip Rivers was really, really good.
Sure, but we don't talk about him like we should.
But you're not going to act like he's the greatest. No, because he didn't win a championship. I get that. But I'm just saying that he still could be a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Without winning a championship.
And I know we got to go, but this goes back to my point. If you're making the playoffs consistently enough and getting to the divisional round, the more chances you have, the more likely it is that you're eventually going to break through.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's a perfect example of that. He had one amazing run. We don't worry about all the times the Ravens didn't get there because he did that one run and won a Super Bowl.
And how great is he?
You got a Super Bowl ring.
I said, how great is he?
He's not as good as Lamar
great.
Jackson.
Come on.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.